Have you ever wondered what wisdom awaits you in your golden years? Imagine sitting down with a retired Harvard professor who spent a lifetime gathering insights, ready to share heartfelt advice that's moved many seniors to tears. In this video, we're diving into powerful lessons that can transform how you live your later years, touching on everything from family dynamics to personal peace. You'll want to watch until the end because these aren't just tips. They're a roadmap to living wisely, with dignity, and avoiding the mistakes that could make old age miserable, delivered straight from experience to help you thrive. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. First, never let your children know the exact amount of your savings. This isn't just a casual piece of advice, it's a safeguard for family harmony. Research indicates that nearly 70% of family disputes stem from disagreements over money or the division of assets, often erupting after a parent's passing. Take, for instance, a widely reported case from a few years back. A once close-knit family of 4 siblings descended into chaos after their parents' estate was revealed. What began as a discussion about splitting a modest inheritance turned into a bitter legal battle, complete with lawsuits, accusations of greed, and irreparable rifts. An old proverb captures it well: money is money, kin is kin, keep them apart to keep the peace. The more children a family has, the higher the odds of conflicting expectations or perceived unfairness bubbling to the surface. Picture this. One child might assume they deserve more for helping out in tough times, while another feels entitled based on their sacrifices. Before you know it, the savings you spent decades building, through late nights, careful budgeting, and personal sacrifice, become a spark that ignites resentment rather than a legacy of love. Our hard-earned wealth should ease our children's burdens, not sow division or stress. By keeping the exact figures private, you protect them from temptation and preserve the family bond for what truly matters. Second, do not quarrel with your spouse once you pass 60. At this stage of life, your spouse isn't just a partner. They're your anchor, your confidant, and often your closest companion. Your children, by now, are likely immersed in their worlds, raising their kids, climbing career ladders, or managing households of their own. They may visit or call, but the day-to-day rhythm of your life increasingly revolves around the person who's been by your side for decades. There's a beautiful saying that reflects this shift: when we're young, we share love; when we're old, we share loyalty. As the years pile on, the petty disagreements, over forgotten chores, small habits, or differing opinions, lose their weight against the backdrop of a shared history. Think about it. This is the person who knows your quirks, who stood with you through triumphs and trials, who can finish your sentences or sit with you in comfortable silence. Studies show that older couples who maintain a strong, supportive relationship report higher levels of happiness and even better physical health. Less stress means a stronger heart, both literally and figuratively. No one dreams of spending their golden years in solitude, nursing grudges, or sleeping in a cold bed. So, after 60, let patience guide you. Treasure your spouse as the irreplaceable gift they are, nurture them with kindness, and lean into the quiet strength of companionship. Life's too short for anything less. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Third, do not spend your own money to raise your grandchildren. This might sound cold at first glance, but it's grounded in both practicality and self-preservation. A growing body of research, some studies pegging it at over 60%, reveals that grandparents who take on significant childcare duties often end up physically drained and emotionally depleted. Raising kids is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's a different game when you're in your 60s or 70s compared to your 30s. Beyond the exhaustion, there's a subtler risk: being taken for granted. Consider a scenario where you dip into your retirement savings to buy toys and clothes, or even cover school fees for your grandkids. You might do it out of love, but the younger generation, your children and their spouses, may start to see it as an expectation rather than a generous choice. Attitudes have shifted across generations. Where we might have viewed such help as a rare blessing, today's parents might shrug and say, "Well, that's what grandparents do." Worse, it can stir tension. Maybe one child feels you're favoring their kids over another's, or your spouse resents the dwindling nest egg. A real-life example comes to mind. A retired couple I read about poured thousands into their grandkids' upbringing, only to overhear their daughter casually dismiss it as no big deal, since they weren't using the money anyway. The sting of ingratitude cut deep. Instead, why not redirect that energy and those resources to yourself? Travel if you can, pick up a hobby you've shelved, or simply savor the freedom of your golden years. Let the parents shoulder their load. You've earned your rest. Fourth, if you happen to be living alone, do not rush into remarriage. This advice might feel challenging or even counterintuitive, especially if loneliness creeps in, but it's worth considering carefully for the sake of your long-term happiness and peace of mind. At this stage in life, a new marriage often comes with complexities that can undermine its stability. You and your potential partner have likely spent years, perhaps decades, crafting distinct lives, each shaped by unique habits, preferences, and routines. Merging these separate worlds isn't as simple as it might have been in youth. Lifestyle differences, from how you spend your days to how you manage your time, can spark friction. Finances, too, become a potential minefield. Differing approaches to spending, saving, or even sharing resources can lead to tension or outright conflict. Beyond that, there's the emotional weight of blending families, navigating expectations, and adjusting to someone else's ingrained ways of living. Instead of stepping into this uncertain terrain, why not embrace the freedom that comes with being on your own? This is your chance to rediscover yourself, to pursue the hobbies, interests, or travel you've always wanted, unencumbered by compromise. Living solo at this point doesn't have to mean isolation. It can be an opportunity to craft a life that's wholly yours, free of additional constraints or obligations. Fifth, hold on to your house. It's tempting to consider selling when your children approach you with kind words, persuasive promises, or suggestions that it might be easier for you. But pause and reflect before making such a monumental decision. A house is far more than a physical structure of bricks and mortar. It's a repository of your life's story. Within its walls are the echoes of laughter, the quiet moments of reflection, the milestones celebrated, and even the hardships overcome. It's a tangible link to your past and a sanctuary for your present. Beyond sentiment, there's a practical side. Your home is a stronghold, a reliable refuge you can always return to, no matter how unpredictable or unforgiving the world outside becomes. In times of uncertainty, whether financial, emotional, or otherwise, having your own space provides a sense of security that's hard to replicate elsewhere. Don't be swayed by fleeting assurances or pressure. This is your anchor. Letting it go hastily could leave you adrift, so weigh the decision with care and prioritize your comfort and stability. Sixth, no matter how close you are to your children. This concept, rooted in nature, offers a powerful lesson for human relationships. Just as adult crows must eventually spread their wings and fend for themselves, there comes a time when we, too, must prioritize independence in our later years. It's not about distrusting your children or doubting their love. It's about recognizing that they have their own lives to lead, with responsibilities, families, and pressures of their own. Leaning too heavily on them, even unintentionally, can strain those relationships and erode your sense of agency. By cultivating self-reliance, you protect yourself from becoming a burden, which is itself an act of love. It allows your children the freedom to thrive without guilt or obligation, while you maintain your dignity and autonomy. This doesn't mean cutting ties or refusing help when truly needed. Rather, it's about striking a balance, building a life where you can stand on your own, enriched by their presence but not defined by it. In your senior years, independence becomes a gift you give both to yourself and to those you care about most. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Seventh, do not stay at your child's home for more than 3 days. This might sound like a stark or even chilly piece of advice, especially when family ties run deep and the pull to spend time together is strong. Yet, there's wisdom in this boundary. It's about safeguarding the affection and harmony in your relationship for the long term. Even if your children and their spouses never voice a hint of unease, overstaying can subtly shift the dynamic. What begins as a joyful visit might gradually encroach on their space, their routines, and their sense of independence. Every household has its rhythm, the way mornings unfold, the division of chores, the unspoken agreements between partners, and an extended presence, however well-intentioned, can disrupt that flow. Tensions may simmer beneath the surface, left unspoken out of politeness or love, but felt nonetheless. Think of it like brewing a cup of tea. The pleasure comes from steeping it just long enough to achieve the perfect warmth and flavor. Leave it too long, and it turns bitter or scalding, hard to enjoy. By keeping your visits brief, 3 days as a gentle rule of thumb, you preserve the sweetness of the connection. You leave them wanting more, rather than risking fatigue or strain. Distance, in this case, isn't about emotional detachment. It's a deliberate choice to nurture mutual respect and ensure that every reunion remains a source of joy rather than obligation. 8th, when your children marry. Temper your expectations and avoid placing heavy demands on them. It's natural for parents to harbor hopes that their children will be their steadfast support in old age, perhaps tending to their needs, checking in often, or even stepping into the role of caregiver. But clinging too tightly to these expectations can pave the way for disappointment, especially in today's fast-paced world. Modern life pulls your children in countless directions. Demanding careers, raising their own families, managing financial pressures, and carving out moments for their well-being. These responsibilities aren't a reflection of their love or gratitude. They're simply the reality of a generation navigating a different landscape than the one you may have known. The more you demand, whether it's time, attention, or resources, the greater the risk of straining the relationship or fostering guilt on their end and resentment on yours. Instead, consider a lighter approach, akin to flying a kite. If you grip the string too tightly, the kite struggles to lift off, tethered to the ground. Loosen it just enough, and it soars, free, graceful, and unburdened. Letting go of excessive expectations doesn't mean abandoning hope or connection. It means trusting your children to live their lives fully while you find peace in your own. Offer them freedom as a gift, and you'll likely find that their care, when it comes, flows more naturally and willingly, unmarred by obligation. 9th, do not let unresolved worries keep you awake at night. It's all too easy to lie awake, mind churning over problems, big or small, that refuse to resolve themselves in the quiet hours. But the more you dwell, the more tangled and overwhelming those thoughts become, like threads knotting tighter with every tug. Perhaps it's a financial concern, a family matter, or a regret that resurfaces unbidden. Whatever the source, ruminating rarely brings clarity at the moment. Instead, it chips away at your peace, leaving you exhausted and no closer to a solution. Try this. Permit yourself to set those worries aside until morning. Imagine placing them in a box, closing the lid, and promising to revisit them when the light of day offers a fresher perspective. Often, what feels insurmountable at midnight softens by sunrise, either because sleep restores your resilience or because time reveals a path forward you couldn't see in the dark. Preserving a relaxed mind isn't just a luxury. It's a necessity. Emotional well-being is as vital as physical health, especially as you age. Excessive worry doesn't alter what's beyond your control. It only erodes your strength to face it. Think of your mind as a garden. Tend it with care, weed out the anxieties that threaten to overrun it, and let it rest so it can bloom anew. Tomorrow may not hold all the answers, but it will almost certainly feel more manageable than the restless night before. 10th, do not fret over what's unnecessary. There's an old saying, children have their fortunes. This wisdom reminds us that once our children grow into adults, they step into their journeys, shaped by their own decisions, dreams, and challenges. As parents or elders, we may feel a lingering urge to guide or even control their paths, but their lives are no longer ours to live. Instead of hovering or worrying excessively, adopt a gentler approach. Check in with them regularly, not out of obligation or anxiety, but with genuine warmth and curiosity about their world. Offer support when asked, but resist the temptation to intrude too deeply into their choices. Let go of the small, unnecessary stresses, whether they marry, move away, or choose a career you wouldn't have picked. Excessive worry weighs heavily on the mind and body, sapping your energy and peace. By releasing these burdens, you pave the way for a lighter spirit and, quite naturally, a longer, more serene life. 11th, do not work yourself to exhaustion. For many over 60, thriftiness is a hard-earned habit, forged in times of scarcity or struggle. You've saved diligently, perhaps out of necessity or a sense of duty to your family, and that discipline has carried you far. But life is fleeting, a truth that grows clearer with each passing year. When the time feels right, permit yourself to spend, not recklessly, but with purpose and delight. If you've always dreamed of savoring a fine meal at that restaurant you've passed 100 times, book the table. If a distant place calls to you, be it a quiet seaside village or a bustling city abroad, pack your bags and go. Don't defer these joys, thinking there's always tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Think of it like a jar of candies you've stashed away for decades, carefully preserved for a special occasion. That occasion is now. Unwrap them, taste the sweetness, and let yourself revel in the simple, fleeting pleasures you've earned. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 12th, don't be so thrifty that you miss out on life's joys. Most people over 60 have known hardship and saved their whole lives, but life is fleeting, and when the time arrives, it's time to spend. If you want to enjoy a good meal, do it. If you want to travel, go for it. Don't put it off. It's like the candies you've stored away all your life. Now is the time to unwrap and savor them. 13th, health is your greatest asset. Above wealth, status, or even time itself, health stands as the bedrock of a fulfilling life. It's the quiet foundation that supports every joy, every ambition, every moment of connection with those you love. When we're healthy, we can laugh freely, explore the world, and face each day with vigor. When we're not, even the simplest pleasures slip out of reach. More than that, good health spares our children the burden of caregiving or worry, allowing them to live their lives unencumbered. Tend to your body with the care you'd give to the roots of an ancient tree. Nurture them diligently, knowing that strong roots sustain a vibrant, flourishing canopy. Eat well, move often, rest deeply, and seek peace in your mind. Live happily, not just for yourself, but as a gift to those around you. In doing so, you infuse your golden years with meaning, resilience, and a quiet, enduring grace. Ultimately, the foundation of a fulfilling life rests on 3 vital pillars: proper nutrition, sufficient rest, and a cheerful, optimistic spirit. Nutrition fuels the body with the energy and nutrients it needs to thrive, so prioritize balanced meals rich in vitamins, minerals, and whole foods to sustain your strength and vitality. Rest, particularly deep and restorative sleep, is non-negotiable, perhaps the cornerstone of well-being. To ensure quality sleep, avoid the temptation to stay up late into the night, and cultivate a tranquil, comfortable environment conducive to relaxation, free from distractions and discomfort. A cheerful spirit, meanwhile, uplifts not only your mood but also radiates positivity to those around you. Together, these elements form the bedrock of health, which is far more than a personal concern. It's a precious gift that brings joy and stability to your entire family. No matter how much wealth you've amassed or how many accolades you've earned in your lifetime, without health, those achievements lose their luster and meaning. To safeguard this treasure, commit to a wholesome lifestyle, engage in moderate physical activity suited to your abilities, schedule regular medical checkups to catch any issues early, and nurture a positive mindset that embraces gratitude and resilience. This holistic approach is the greatest legacy you can offer your loved ones, a testament to your care for them and yourself. As we age, we must come to terms with a sobering reality. We are no longer the invincible youths we once were, and there are behaviors and choices we can no longer afford to mishandle. Time and experience demand that we shed naivety and steer clear of careless mistakes or significant oversights that could jeopardize our well-being. Even if our minds remain sharp and our spirits lively, certain aspects of life require a more cautious, measured approach. At this stage, wisdom suggests refraining from meddling in 3 specific domains. First, resist the urge to intervene in your children's major life decisions, such as purchasing a home or a car. If they seek your counsel, by all means, share your insights and experiences, but stop short of dictating their choices. Autonomy is their right and responsibility now. Second, steer clear of entanglement in disputes or political maneuverings among extended family members. These conflicts often stem from competing interests, financial stakes, or long-held grudges, and you may lack the full context to judge fairly. Wading into such matters risks inviting stress, misunderstandings, or blame onto yourself unnecessarily. Third, avoid inserting yourself into the marital or romantic troubles of friends. Relationships are intricate and deeply personal. Even when invited to assist, your role should be that of a compassionate listener, not a mediator or decision-maker. Most couples will navigate their path to resolution, and overstepping could strain your friendship or leave you caught in the crossfire. Equally critical is exercising discernment about financial generosity as you age, particularly regarding 3 types of money you should refrain from lending. First, reserve loans for dire emergencies, such as a severe illness or a natural disaster, where immediate aid could be a lifeline. In less urgent cases, lending risks depleting your finite savings, painstakingly earned over decades to secure your comfort in later years. Offering a loan may feel simple, but recovering it can be arduous, sometimes fracturing relationships irreparably. Your financial security should not hinge on others' promises. Second, avoid lending money for speculative ventures or investments promising lucrative returns. Without a steady income to replenish your funds, any loss could be catastrophic, and even if the venture succeeds, your portion of the gains may be negligible. The gamble simply doesn't justify the potential cost to your stability. Third, never lend money to fuel gambling habits. The odds of repayment are slim to none, and enabling such behavior only invites regret. Your savings are your safety net in old age, tied directly to your ability to live comfortably and independently. Think long and hard before parting with them. Not every borrower will appreciate your sacrifice, nor will they all have the means or intent to repay. Protecting yourself from such risks is not selfishness. It's prudence born of experience. In tandem with financial caution, steer clear of 3 foolish actions that could undermine your peace and well-being. First, do not neglect your health. It's a treasure you may not fully appreciate until it begins to slip away. Avoid sabotaging it with overindulgence in food, smoking, or excessive alcohol, as these habits erode the very foundation of your vitality. Second, refrain from missteps in relationships that breed resentment or discord. At this stage, you lack the stamina to mend broken bonds or weather prolonged conflict, so prioritize living harmoniously. Avoid overmanaging the lives of younger generations. Recall how fiercely you once guarded your independence, and focus on fostering mutual respect. Third, resist the urge to offer help through convoluted, indirect means, such as leveraging your network via intermediaries. These arrangements can jeopardize your reputation and resources. If they unravel, the fallout lands squarely on you. Simplicity and directness preserve your integrity and peace. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. As you transition into the later chapters of life, safeguarding your well-being, relationships, and tranquility becomes paramount. Avoid burdening yourself with unnecessary regrets or obligations. There are 3 desires best left unpursued. Do not yearn for vast riches. Instead, aspire only for the comfort of adequate food, warm clothing, and freedom from financial strain. Do not hope for others to swoop in and solve your every problem. Seek instead the strength and resourcefulness to depend on yourself. Do not expect gratitude or repayment from all you've aided. Let a clear conscience and the satisfaction of doing good be reward enough. These tempered wishes foster contentment over chasing the unattainable. Moreover, guard your speech by avoiding 3 harmful expressions. Do not lie. Honesty preserves trust and spares you the stress of maintaining falsehoods. Do not wield harsh, threatening words. They alienate others and sow discord you can ill afford. Do not utter remarks that cut deeply into someone's heart. The wounds they inflict can linger, haunting both the speaker and the spoken to with regret. Words carry immense power. Wield them with care to maintain harmony. Beyond words, there are 3 actions to avoid. Do not cling to anger or amass grudges. Resentment festers within, poisoning your health and happiness more than anyone else's. Do not chase an illusion of youth through artificial means or unreachable pursuits. Embrace your age with grace, focusing on vitality over vanity. Do not hoard money obsessively, denying yourself life's modest comforts. Savings exist to enhance your existence, not to imprison you in scarcity. Strike a balance. Use your resources wisely while savoring the fruits of your labor. Conversely, hold fast to 3 pursuits that enrich your days. Never abandon the desire to present yourself well. Dressing neatly and maintaining personal hygiene bolsters your confidence and dignity. Never forsake kindness. A compassionate, generous heart keeps you connected to humanity. Never relinquish joy. A youthful mind and light heart defy the calendar, sustaining your spirit through life's ebbs and flows. Finally, release 3 needless fears. Do not dread aging. It's a natural unfolding, a privilege denied to many. Do not fear solitude. Moments alone can bring clarity and peace if you embrace them. Do not tremble at the future. It will arrive as it will, beyond your control. What matters is living fully in the now. True age isn't a tally of years, but a measure of your spirit's vibrancy. Some in their 80s or 90s radiate youthful zest and contentment. Aspire to be among them by shedding worries and embracing each day with purpose and grace. Thus, as we conclude this profound exploration of wisdom, drawn from the reflections of a retired Harvard professor tailored for those in their golden years, we uncover a roadmap to thriving in later life. From nurturing your health and relationships to redefining your approach to money and independence, these insights offer a transformative lens for aging well. This journey has stirred deep emotions, perhaps even tears, and I hope it inspires you to reflect deeply and live more intentionally as the years unfold. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What have you learned so far from this wealth of knowledge? Take a moment to pause and think about the insights that hit home for you. Maybe it's the importance of holding onto your house as a sanctuary, or the reminder to let go of unnecessary worries to preserve your emotional well-being. Whatever it is, I invite you to share in the comments below one specific lesson that stood out to you and how you plan to weave it into your daily life moving forward. Your story might just inspire someone else to watch. If you found value in this video, and I truly hope you have, please take a second to leave your comment below. Let's keep this conversation going. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with someone who could use a little wisdom in their life, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss out on more content like this. Your support means the world, and I can't wait to bring you more insights to help you live your best life. Thanks so much for joining me today. See you in the next video.